Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, my dear Prabhus, dear Matajis. Good morning. Thank you for joining our morning japa session. And welcome to our Srimad Bhagavatam study, the Monk in the Middle podcast. And congratulations, kasi this is our 100th episode. Kalayan yun. Good morning, Hare Krishna, Noreen. And we are entering in the realm of the study setting, Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto. So if you are also studying with us, in a sequence, we have 12 cantos, 11 cantos na lang. So kung magiging 100 episode per canto, which is unlikely kasi ibang cantos mas marami. So 1,100 days, approximately 3 years. at least, kesa hindi binabasa yung Srimad Bhagavatam. I know a lot of devotees who who are practicing Krishna consciousness for decades already but haven't read the Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna, hello, Noreen Mataji, hello, Chandrika Ratika Mataji, Hare Krishna, Joni Mataji, Moksha Lakshmi Mataji, Hare Krishna, Rolly Prabhu, back to Oliver Prabhu, back to Paolo Prabhu, back to Rodel Prabhu, back to Chantal, back to Naimi, and back to Nariza. Hare Krishna. So you know the drill, everyone. We should be in the right mood, in the mood of request, in the mood of humility, in entering the realm of the study of Srimad Bhagavatam. So join me as we recite the invocation mantras. Hopefully, kabisado nyo na to. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashta Prayashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Utamas Loke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. I offer my obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudeva before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest. One should offer respectful obeisances to the personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So previously, in our discussion, Maharaj Pariksit and Sukadev Goswami have already met. Maharaj Pariksit over his obeisances to Sukadev Goswami, the very young Sukadev Goswami, only 16 years old, but very highly learned, and the sages, the demigods, the kings, their disciples, their subordinates, offered their respectful obeisances to Sukadev Goswami. Of course, in different ways. Some shake hands, those who are equal. A lot of them bowed down. A lot of them stood up. A lot of them stayed because they are seniors, but they nod. So different relationships. This kind of relationship and how to deal with the seniors, the equals, and the juniors, we will learn much more in our Vaishnav etiquette. That will be every Friday by His Grace Maturanath Prabhu. So if you haven't registered yet for the Braj Bhakti Academy Level 1 and Level 2 classes every evening, please do so. If na-miss nyo yung link, let me know. Pero you could back read. Nasa ano lang yan, group chat natin. And we are having the hub ng group chat. Konting announcement muna. Group chat, the Braj Bhakti Academy. So let me know if you want to be in that group chat. Kasi the other meditation and yoga philosophy group chat will be not that active anymore. Mga important announcement na lang dun for those who are inactive. So, para hindi rin mag-flood sa inyo, you can leave those groups. If member kayo ng more than one or more than one, then you can be active in the Braj Bhakti Academy GC. And the Braj Bhakti Academy page and group will be active very soon. So, let me know lang. And tonight, before I forget, will be the Bhagavad Gita recitation. We are inviting everyone to join. You just have to bring with you the Bhagavad Gita as it is, because by the mercy of His Holiness Giridhari Swami, he will be with us in reciting the slokas of the Bhagavad Gita. So very exciting to. We will also be reading per week one chapter in translation, and also every Sunday we'll be having the overview. Then if you want to also study the Bhagavad Gita with us for 18 weeks, you could read on your own the purports. So, ang dami nating goal. We are studying the Srimad Bhagavatam, and we are also studying the Bhagavad Gita, which is the very means, the highest perfection of life. Kaya, habang nag-uusap si Maharaj Pariksit, nagtanong uli si Maharaj Pariksit kay Sukadev Goswami. Actually, nagtanong, unang tinanong niya sa mga sages. But when his guru, Sukadev Goswami, came there, he asked this same question: what is the purpose of life? What is the duty of a living man? And what is the duty of a dying man? These two questions. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, we are on the new book na. Second canto, entitled The Cosmic Manifestation. So, yung first canto natin is creation, and the Srimad Bhagavatam will be discussing much more about the cosmic manifestation in details. Of course, the stories are there, but it will be discussed here yung mga details. Chapter 1, entitled The First Step in God Realization. So if you're here, of course, every start ng canto, there is the invocation, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, the all-pervading personality of God, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Vasudev means Krishna, or Vasudeva means to Krishna, the son of Vasudev. So you could, we should notice that Vasudev and Vasudev are different. Yung si Krishna is Vasudev. Yung first letter A, first vowel, have a bar, so it's like pronouncing it with two vowels, 2A, Vasudeva. Yeah. So this is Krishna, the son of Vasudev. Mostly si Krishna names niya are described depending on his pastimes or glories or qualification or qualities, I mean. And yung iba descendant, Vasudev. Or minsan pinatay niya yung demon na si Madhu, pangalan niya Madhu Sudana. Or he's the lover of the cows, Gopal, Govinda. Pero his main name is Krishna. So the first canto is called creation. Pero the second canto is post-creation. Kasi in detail na. In detail na siya. Kaya post-creation of the cosmic manifestation. There are 10 cantos. Mabilis lang to. 10 canto dito sa Srimad Bhagavatam. 10 chapters in this second canto ng Srimad Bhagavatam. And it will be described here yung mga different hints sa process which neophyte devotees may perform sa meditation sa universal form ni Krishna. to understand the universal form ni Krishna. The universe, diba? The universe arranged this for me. Mga New Age. And si Maharaj Pariksit asked the question previously, that's the last chapters of first canto, asked the question to Sukadeva Goswami. And here, Sukadeva Goswami is very glad with that kind of question. A very bona fide student asking a bona fide question to the bona fide guru. Text number 1. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, "My dear king, your question is glorious because it is very beneficial to all kinds of people. The answer to this question is the prime subject matter for hearing, and it is approved by all transcendentalists. This subject matter for hearing is actually applicable not just during that time, 5,000 years ago, but it is applicable in the past, today, in the present, and in the future. What is the duty of a living man and what is the duty of a dying man?" So tell me, applicable pa rin siya hanggang ngayon, di ba? Anong gagawin natin sa buhay natin? And one may think na ang goal ng buhay is social development or accumulating money. Halos lahat ng motivator, ito yung motivation factor natin, motivating factor nila, money. Which is, if naranasan mo na yumaman because of your endeavor and karma, you would know, will definitely know na hindi yun yung goal of life. Or just look into those people na mayaman. Same. Nag-iba lang yung brand ng damit nila. Pero same miserable birth, old age, disease, and death. Mas social lang, of course. Pero iba hindi rin eh. Iba mas malala pa nga eh. They're much more mentally unstable. Diba? Sadly, pag nag-check ako ng social media, lagi ako napupunta dun sa mga, or di mo naman may iwasan, may mga bad news. Diba? Tapos, there was this news where may death threat yung mga magkakamag-anak and marami na namatay sa kanila. Then one guy have to move. Tumakas siya dun sa province, went to Manila. Pero, nasundan siya ng mga gunman. Tapos, may video na napatay siya. Then when the sister was interviewed, lahat, halos ang dami sa kanila namatay na. Then, yung prime suspect niya is yung kamag-anak din nila. Tapos namatayan na rin yun. So they're fighting over something, magkakamag-anak. And I've seen and talked to these kind of people na, ayun nga, they're fighting over politics, positions, even, may mana. If you have a relative na namatay, yung mga lolo, tapos may pamana, tell me kung wala nag-away-away sa mana sa magkakapatid. Laging yung istorya yan sa Philippines. And don't worry, kasi nangyari yan sa Battle of Kurukshetra sa Mahabharata. Nagkakawa nila yung emperorship, yung pag sino mag-rule. So this, because of people misunderstanding the goals of life. Buti na lang wala pong ipapamana, kaya for sure walang away. Utang pala yung papamana, no? Yeah, they are misunderstanding the goals of life, thinking money or economic development yung kailangan habulan. Pero it is just like, yun mo yung, I don't know, I haven't been to a desert. Pero sa movies, di ba, pag yung mga nag-travel, nag-hallucinate na sila, nakikita nila may mirage and water yon. Tapos they will run and run. Pero habang umaandar sila, lumalapit sila doon. Lumalayo yung mirage. Same thing. Pag meron ka ng 1 million, gusto mo lang ng 3 million, 4 million, 5 million. Pag meron ka na nung gusto mo billions. Pag may billions ka na, gusto po mas maraming billions. The greed for money is unquenchable. Di siya magkuquench. Quenchable. Unquenchable. Unquenchable. So yes, this is the misconception of the goals of life. Pero, si Sukadev Goswami is explaining, the questions of Maharaj Pariksit is beneficial kasi he is finding and looking for the real duty. Anong purpose, anong duty ng isang living and dying man? The activities of Krishna are non-different from Krishna. Srila Prabhupada is mentioning this because hearing of these subject matters are the highest goal of life. Just like hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Gita, we could work all day for us to be able to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita. That is the goal of life. Because hearing the glories, the form, the name, the variegatedness, the seeing the darshan, that is the goal of life. Because those are non-different kay Krishna. And we could work for us to be able to arrange our life that we could do this. So if we are not being able to do this kind of hearing, chanting, because of our work, there's a perfect imbalance of our lives. The sadhana is just like 1 hour, 2 hours of our daily, 24 hours. Hindi na nagbabago yun. Hindi rin umiiksi yun. Pero if you don't make time sa mga ganitong activities, we are in imbalance. So just finding or making time for this is the highest goal of life. Kasi we are being with Krishna. Those are not different. So having this Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing this, is actually a big purification. So thank you for those who attended yesterday pala na deeper meditation. A lot of you have mentioned that chanting is a way of purification, cleansing. Yes, it is a byproduct of chanting, the anartha nivritti, removing of all unwanted baggages, the obstacles in our hearts, even the karmas. If one much more chant the holy name of Krishna in a deeper and offenseless chanting, there is the clearing stage. And hearing of the Srimad Bhagavatam is also the same. It is purifying to one's heart and mind. All that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed just by regularly hearing. It is compared here by Srila Prabhupada to the Ganges River. Ganges River is coming from the spiritual world. It touched the lotus feet of Krishna from Vamanadev and Lord Krishna himself when Vasudev carried Vasudev in the Yamuna River. Nag-touch din siya dun sa water ng Holy River na to. It is purifying. And yung mga tao na punta doon sa river na yon, nabi-verify yung mga sins nila. But it is holy and a pilgrimage, considered as a pilgrimage, kasi yung mga holy person napunta doon, yung mga saintly person. Not to cleanse themselves. But when they are there, even the river that cleanses all the people are being cleansed by the presence ng mga devotees. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is also like inviting Ganges River in our house, in our hearts when we are hearing it regularly. We are being purified. Even hindi natin actually naiintindihan. That is the boon. Minsan you have to just attend the classes. Then we are not yet ready for it. Or the time is not yet there. May mga topics tayong hindi pa natin maintindihan ngayon. We have to experience something in the future. Don't worry, hindi lahat ng question natin, pag tinanong natin, maintindihan natin kagad or we will get the answers. Some will have to take time. Some will be at the right time now. We could understand. Sometimes in the future. Kaya pala ganito yung sinasabi ni Krishna na we're not the body. O kaya detachment. I was talking to this one student, may detachment na usapan. Pero hanggat di mo nangyayari, you will be away from a loved one. Hindi mo ma-experience talaga yung gano'ng kahirap yung detachment. Habang nandito tayo, parang okay lang. Hindi ako mag-reply. A wrong way of detachment. Pero yes, marami tayong lesson to be learned. Lesson to be learned in different grades of time. Minsan matututunan natin yun looking back in the past or seeing our present. Or sometimes in the vision, in the future. Or pag nandun na tayo. But the Srimad Bhagavatam is hindi mo pwede i-bargain yung purifying agent niya. Na pag meron ka Srimad Bhagavatam, and lalong-lalo na if you're hearing it, you're being purified just like when one takes a bath in the holy rivers. Wherever the Ganges waters go, they purify the land and the person who bathes in them. Similarly, Krishna Katha, or the pastime of Krishna, hearing it, or the topics of Krishna, are so pure that wherever they are spoken, the place, the hearer, the inquirer, the speaker, and all concerned become purified. Text number 2. Those persons who are materially engrossed, being blind to the knowledge of ultimate truth, have many subject matters for hearing in human society, O Emperor. So those who are blind in the knowledge of the ultimate truth or spiritual knowledge. So who could sino yung nare-remember natin if we're talking about a blind person in the Mahabharata and also the story ng Srimad Bhagavatam? Sino yung blind person and sino yung blind person he's also the blind person spiritually. Literally and spiritually. Sa Bhagavad Gita, andun din siya. So if you could remember, type nyo. Mahirap yung spelling nun. So yes, if a person is blind spiritually, he will hear many subject matters, mundane subject matters. Actually, there's a lot. Many branch. Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here in the purport, there are two nomenclatures for householder's life. If one is living like a householder person, if you have a family or living in your own homes, almost 99% ng mga tao is that. That's ashram. It is called Grihasta or Griyamedi. Grihasta is having a family, pero ang sentro is si Krishna. Ang sentro ng bahay nila, hindi yung television set or gaming setup. Ang sentro ng bahay nila is the altar. They have the altar of Krishna there, the pictures, sometimes you can put deities depending on the commitment, the books, the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Bhagavad Gita. If one have those, the homes that they are living in are considered as a temple. Hindi na ikaw yung may-ari niyan, si Krishna. It will be different kapag ganun yung sentro. Di ba madalas, pag pumunta sa mga bahay, grabe yung altar nila, which is television. Diba? Ilang inches na wide na TV, grabe yung sound system. Tapos pag tinanap niyo yung altar, wala silang altar or very small lang. Pero pag ang sentro ng bahay natin is si Krishna, the family will be happy and peaceful. Ideally. Kasi we are living our life according to Krishna's guidance, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, according to the guidance of spiritual teacher. But there is this grihasta, there is this householder who is considered as Grihamedi. The Grihamedi are those who live only for the benefit of the family members, extended or centralized, and thus are envious of others. Medi is considered as, meaning is jealous of others, jealousy of others. So maraming ganito, they talk among themselves, they're jealous sa ibang family. Because their center ng buhay nila is sanctification. So tell me, kung hindi na-experience to, minsan kapag nagka-check ka ng social media, tapos nakikita mo yung mga parang, teko lang, dati hindi naman siya ganito. Dati mas lamang ako sa kanya. Tapos ngayon ganito na siya. I think mas kaya ko maging successful kaysa sa kanya. The competition is there. O kaya madaming nagiging insecure because ano yung pinapromote ng tao is the external beauty mostly, di ba? Everything, even mga teenagers are posting yung mga just beauty of this body, the makeup, the physique. And a lot of people are having insecurities with their bodies, with their material assets and all. Because everyone's just flexing, flashing. And not all are just happy for that person. Ang dami naiingit. Ang daming bashers, laging ganon. They're just waiting for some persons to commit mistake. They're waiting for someone to commit mistake. Lalo na yung mga sikat. Ang daming haters. So same thing. If one doesn't put Krishna in the center of their homes, one is considered as Griyamedi kasi they will make the center of their house, their homes, talking about something mundane, just chasing money, talking about just work, talking about just nonsense things, temporary things. Again, those who are Grihasta, it doesn't mean you don't talk about work, you don't talk about the current events, don't talk about kamusta yung mga family members, kamusta yung mag-anak. Yes, it could be done, it should be done. It is part of the relationship. But they know that the main topics to hear is Krishna Katha. They never miss it. You will see some happy families are chanting together, husband, wives, and the kids. But they're having atars, or they doing deity worship, they study together as well. Diba? Like in a paradise. Diba? Sana ganun na lang. Diba? But of course, not all of us were born in a family of devotees. Some, we are just surviving, thriving. Tayo mag-isa dun sa bahay. The rest is not practicing. So different scenarios. But we should make a way that we could hear Krishna Katha. If not, one is blind of the knowledge to the ultimate truth. So if one is blind, he will hear a lot of things. If one is open and have the sight on the real truth, the spiritual knowledge, one will hear yung mga dapat pakinggan. So don't be a Griham-medi, even mag-isa ka lang. Don't be a Griham-medi. Check kung ang budget mo mas malaki sa cable, sa Netflix and all, tas wala kang budget to buy fruits and flowers para sa altar and for books. So pag i-imbalance yung budget ko, dapat mas may effort ako to offer fruits even or incense saka flowers sa altar. Minsan yung flowers, you just have to go out, di ba? I remember na sa multinational kami nakatira sa Paranaque. Lalabas ka lang habang nag-japa ka, ang daming kalachuchi to get. Tapos maisip mo si Krishna. So, one way ngayon, pag nakakita ko ng flowers sa kalsada, sarap kunin na ito para kay Krishna. Lalo sa airport, di ba? Ang daming kalachuchi. So, be a Grihasta, not a normal Griham-medi. Text number 3. The lifetime of such an envious householder is passed at night, either in sleeping or in sex indulgence, and in the daytime, either in making money or maintaining family members. So, Sukadeva Goswami is saying kung ano yung lifestyle ng Griham-medi. During the day, he's just working for money and maintaining family members. And in the evening, they just sleep or perform sexual activities. Umiikot na yung buhay nila pa ulit-ulit doon. Like a cycle, a rat race. Now you may be asking, Atma Tattva. Atma Tattva, Tattva is like truth. Atma is the soul, knowing the purpose of the soul. Atma Tattva. So this kind of Griham-medi activities or cycle, you would see, and we should notice kung ganito lang yung cycle ng buhay natin. That's why we need to put Krishna consciousness sa sadhana every day. For this will to be purified. The work for money, it will be purified. It will be spiritualized. The goal now is to work so we could maintain, we could serve Krishna, offer prasadam. Same, wala naman nagbago, dadagdag mo lang si Krishna. You have a lot of zeros, your assets. Pag wala kang whole number, walang value yung zero mo. Pero pag nilagay mo yung one sa pinakauna, yung priority mo, si Krishna, the rest will have value. The work, the talent, the skills, diba? The family members, yung bahay mo may value. So yes, we need to be agriyasta. Put that number one, that whole number in front. So all that assets, all that skills, all that talent, all that facilities that you have will have value. And some will just spend their nights sleeping and sex indulgence. And this is not the goal of life. Only in the all species of life, on the human beings are abusing this sex indulgence. Yung mga hayop, nag-sex sila pag in-hit sila. Although, they do it in the streets, publicly and all. So, we should not indulge in sexual intercourses, just like dogs and cats. But sadly, it is being done. It is promoted everywhere. Diba? Hindi ka makakatakas kahit sa social media. Kahit sa mga whatsoever apps, advertisement, diba? Is being done everywhere. Movies. And accessible to everyone. So, we should be aware in that stimulus sa atin. If one is always agitated or imbalanced, one should see that one should check actually ano yung mga stimulus sa buhay natin. Sino yung mga nakikita mo sa Instagram, sa Facebook, sa TikTok, sino yung napapanood mo, ano yung nakikita mo mga ads, ano yung saan ka bombarded with. Tapos subconscious lang yon, hindi mo napapansin. Tapos ganun ka-agitated. Because ito yung lumalabas. I mean, ito yung pumapasok. Same thing lalabas. Garbage in, garbage out. So yes, we should have a diet sa kinakain natin. Our mind, yung mga senses natin should also have a diet, specific diet. And the ideal diet for that is hearing Krishna Katha, Srimad Bhagavatam. Text number 4. Persons devoid of Atma Tattva do not inquire into the problems of life, being too attached to the fallible soldiers like the body, children, and wife. Although sufficiently experienced, they still do not see their inevitable destructions. So yes, devoid of Atma Tattva, knowing the real purpose of the soul, Atma, Tattva is the truth. They do not inquire yung purpose ng life. They're just busy. Busy and entertained. Tapos umiikot yung buhay nila doon. Thinking that is the success. So, accumulating money is not the goal of life. Sukadev Goswami is emphasizing that. And thinking that one is not gonna face the inevitable destructions, will not face that, is a foolish person. If one that is one's meditation na forever siyang mag-enjoy, forever mangyari. No. Everyone should die. Different times. Diba? Separation will be there. Detachment should be there. Even in our family members. Us, we are thinking, I should protect the family members. Yes. Pwede natin magawa yun in a very short or little control. Pero no, Krishna is the ultimate controller. It will happen. What will happen will happen. Everyone's just surviving. Trying to survive. It's a struggle of existence. Even from Lord Brahma, all the demigods, down to the germs. It is just struggle for existence. They're thriving, surviving. Trying to protect their family members, their assets, and all. And pag di nila makuha yon, they are frustrated. Kapag nawala sa kanila, they're lamenting. Hirap manligaw. Pag di mo mapapasagot, frustrated ka. Pag kayo na, tas iniwanan ka, mag-element ka ng todo. Same thing, because these are temporary. But, you don't have to falsely renounce or iwanan mo yung family mo. The detachment should be there even you're with them. Mainly, for the purpose that maybe you could share Krishna consciousness to these people. And also, you have to do your duty. Hindi porket may anak ka, tapos naging Krishna conscious ka, pababayaan mo na yung anak mo. No. Those are duties and responsibilities that one should not leave. So that's Krishna consciousness. But one could dovetail. Those are part of your asset, then put Krishna in the first priority. The material world exists only as a dream due to our attachment to it. Otherwise, the living soul is always different from the material nature because we are the soul, not the body. And the soul are produced by Krishna's spiritual energy. The material world is produced by material energy. So us, the soul, are living in this material world. And in an illusion, in a dream that we are someone like this, we're the father, we're the protector, we're the son, we're the wife. Those are the ultimate reality though. You should live with that responsibilities and duties, but you should not dwell on it too much that you forget your real purpose, real duty as a soul. And it was being mentioned here that the wives, the friends, the relatives, children are fallible. Temporary then. Even the relationship are temporary. But we don't have to be hard on them. Kasi temporary lang, no? Much more you should be kind and gentle for their hearts to be able to receive Krishna's seed of devotion, bhakti. If you're hard on someone, hindi mo basa-basa pwede sa taniman ng Krishna consciousness. They hate you. They hate ni Krishna consciousness kasi lagi mo siyang pinupuna. You're telling the truth pero ang sakit mo magsalita. But if one is kind and gentle, Sri Prabhupada is so kind and so gentle. So whatever he says, papasok sa heart ng mga devotees, ng mga tao. Kasi sa action pa lang niya, Krishna conscious na. Text number 5. O descendant of King Bharat, one who desires to be free from all miseries must hear about, glorify, and also remember the personality of Godhead, who is the super soul, the controller, and the savior from all miseries. So this is the real freedom. People are always fighting over freedom. For what? Freedom from rules and regulation. Freedom for them to do all the things that they want to do. The sense gratification, the drugs, they want legalize all the drugs. Legalize the prostitution. Diba? That's what they're fighting for. That kind of freedom. But that's not the real freedom actually. Freedom from the colony of other countries. Sorry to say, we are still colonized by someone. Or freedom from other position in the politics. For what? For other politician to conquer us. Same. It's not real freedom. It's just changing the dominant or the superiors. And if one just want to be free from the society, one is still serving the senses. And mostly one is serving the false ego, the pride. Still, there is no freedom in this material world unless one tries to remove the shackle of Maya, the material nature, to be free from the clutches of Maya. Only by Krishna consciousness, because this is the only way we can be free from the cycle of birth and death. If not, even Lord Brahma and the demigods are not free. They are subjected to birth, old age, disease, and death. So, one should hear and desire to hear the glorification and remember Krishna. Even if one perfected yung mysticism, the other parts of yoga, the ultimate goal is to hear Krishna's glories and remember him. It is the section where the Bhakti Yoga is being glorified as the topmost kind of yoga. Text number 6. The highest perfection of human life achieved either by complete knowledge of matter and spirit, by practice of mystic powers, or by perfect discharge of occupational duty, is to remember the personality of Godhead at the end of life. One could not remember Krishna if one is just doing yoga asana. So yes, malaking tulong yung yoga asanas for one to be able to control the senses and the mind, to prepare for the meditation on the lotus feet of Krishna. That is the goal. So even if one have a lot of mystic powers, he perfected the 8 siddhis, 8 mystical powers, still, that is not the level that one could remember Krishna. Actually, pag na-experience na yun, he will realize, hindi pala tuloy yung goal. I should meditate to the Krishna from within, to Krishna from within, the super soul. And if one is have perfected that meditation on Krishna from within, he will pray that I could remember you always, Krishna. I could hear your glories and have the association of the devotees so I could serve you. From there on, he will go to Bhakti Yoga. Just like Dhruva Maharaj, what happened? When he saw Krishna from within, nawala bigla, pagdilat niya doon si Krishna mismo as Lord Narayan, four-arm form, Lord Vishnu. And nag-bow down siya, tumayo siya, nag-bow down siya, tumayo siya. Hindi niya alam gagawin niya, like a 5-year-old boy. Ginawa ni Krishna, he touched the conch shell sa head ni Dhruva Maharaj. And from there on, nakapag-pray na maayos si Dhruva Maharaj. Saying, the essence na, yung hinihiling ko palang planeta na, or kingdom na greater sa father ko, saka sa stepmother and stepbrother ko, baliwala in seeing you. It is just like a broken piece of glass in seeing the real gem, the real diamond. So, ganun talaga yung hinihiling natin. What? Money, position, ay yung nilalakad natin ngayon. Pero yung real gem is Krishna consciousness. And alam mo yung prayer ni Dhruva Maharaj? I pray that I could always remember you. Nakita na niya, hindi sinabing to be with you, to always remember you, and have the association of devotees. So that is the topmost yoga system. Even Lord Shiva, who started the yoga na nakita ni Ananta tapos napunta kay nag-internet at Patanjali, his goal of life is not to perform the yoga asana. His goal of life is to remember Krishna and serve him. So the money is not the goal of life. The mystic powers, the mystic yogis, the yoga asanas, 8 limbs of yoga is not the goal of life. The real goal of life is beyond those things, because the real goal is Krishna consciousness, remembrance and service, love with love and devotion kay Krishna. Text number 7. O King, mainly the topmost transcendentalists, who are above the regulative principles and restrictions, take pleasure in describing the glories of the Lord. Topmost transcendentalists, there are those impersonalists and Mayavadis, those are mystic yogis, and those are the topmost bhaktas or devotees. So the topmost transcendentalists is the Bhakti Yogi, and what is their activities? They take pleasure in hearing and describing Srimad Bhagavatam. So hopefully you're not here because napipilitan kayo. It's not pleasurable to hear Krishna consciousness, Krishna kathas. And this is what Sukadeva Goswami is explaining. They take pleasure. Gustong-gusto nila. Kahit gumising na maaga, just like si Oliver Prabhu. Diba? For the longest time, di siya gumigising ng ganito. Pero because of Krishna katha, nagigising siya. And by chanting, nag-adjust siya ng body clock. Tama ba, Oliver Prabhu? And a lot of us, nabuhay tayo na baliktad yung araw natin. We're sleeping and waking up really late. We're awake when the usual time for sleeping is there. Baliktad. Pero because of Krishna consciousness, nako-correct yun. We're doing the right thing in the right time. The topmost transcendentalist is not interested in any material, and he is taking interest in the matter of the Lord's activities is divine proof that the Lord is not like any one of us in this material world. Text number 8. At the end of the Dwapara Yuga, I studied this great supplement of Vedic literature named Srimad Bhagavatam, which is equal to all the Vedas from my father, Srila Dwapayana Vyasadeva. 100% does happen, Oliver. Yes, this is Kali Yuga now, and Sukadeva Goswami in the Srimad Bhagavatam was discussed as start of the Kali Yuga. And Sukadeva Goswami, just previously, yung Dwapara Yuga, he studied this great supplement for Vedic literature. The 4 Vedas are there. Vyasadeva wrote them, compiled them together with Ganapati. Pero nung mature na spirituality niya, with the guidance of Narada Muni, he compiled the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is considered as the supplement, but all equal to all the Vedas. Actually, the cream, the greatest among the Vedas. So we just need to study the Srimad Bhagavatam. You could study the 4 Vedas and the Puranas. It will take you 35 years. According to yung mga scholar na sa South India na yung nag-compute nun. What more pa tayo? We just read few pages a day. Paano babasahin yung whole Vedas? Hindi tayo marunong mag-Sanskrit. So we just need this, what we need. Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita. And that's what we need for our hearing. It will take us years. Don't worry. And yes, he heard it from his father, Dwaipayana Vyasadeva. Nasa womb pa lang siya, narinig niya sa tatay niya. So he considered his father as his spiritual master. And yung si Vyasadeva, his spiritual master niya is Narada Muni. So nasa line siya ng disciplic succession natin. One has to admit, like in the hospital actually, there's an analogy sabi ni Sri Prabhupada. In the hospital, hindi ka magiging doktor kakabasa ng mga medical books. Yes, ang dami pwedeng biling medical books. Pero hindi ka magiging doktor. One need to have a teacher who can guide us, who can teach us. One should be admitted in a school para maging doktor. Same thing with Srimad Bhagavatam. One could get the full benefit if one have a teacher enrolled in a school like like ISKCON and Braj Bhakti Academy, because this is not just a basic thing to learn. Actually, it's considered as the postgraduate study of the science of Godhead. If you remember, there's confidential knowledge, knowing that you're the soul and not the body. A lot of religious sect is just talking how to become a human. Hindi pa sila minsan umaabot dito. And more confidential is knowing that there's the soul, there's Krishna, is also there's material energy, the energy of Krishna. And the most confidential is having that connection with Bhakti Yoga, with love and devotion, and how to apply it in our daily lives. So very much in detail, very deep in philosophy. That is the postgraduate in all the scriptural or spiritual knowledge. Srimad Bhagavatam. Text number 9. O Saintly King, I was certainly situated perfectly in transcendence, yet I was still attracted by the delineation of the pastime of the Lord, who is described by enlightened verses. So previously, Sukadeva Goswami admitted that he was an impersonalist. He doesn't know Krishna personally. He tried to meditate on Krishna's form as the material form, the light, the universal form, not the real form of Krishna. But by hearing the glories of Krishna, the Srimad Bhagavatam, from his father, he was attracted. He was already self-satisfied, actually, but he was even attracted much more in the glories of Krishna. The impersonal Brahman, the light, the nirvana, the Brahmajyoti is actually Krishna himself. Impersonal feature of Krishna. But that is not our goal. Our goal is to know Krishna personally. To chant Krishna's name, personal name niya, not the Om, just reciting the word God. But His name. Sino yung loved ones niya, ano yung pastime niya, ano yung itsura niya. We want to go beyond yung light na yun. And even Sukadeva Goswami, just by hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, he became very interested and attracted. Text number 10. That very Srimad Bhagavatam I shall recite before you because you are the most sincere devotee of Lord Krishna. One who gives full attention and respect to hearing Srimad Bhagavatam achieves unflinching faith in the Supreme Lord, the giver of salvation. So we know the Shraddha to Prema progression of Bhakti Yoga. From hearing, one develops Shraddha or faith. And from there on, it will go further up until Prema, the real love for Krishna. So if one is attentive in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, the faith, the strong faith, the steadiness is there. That's the first step. Be attentive with respect, full attention and respect in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. This is describing the glories of Sukadeva Goswami and Maharaj Pariksit. You have a bona fide teacher and you have a bona fide student. Just like the relationship we should have in our spiritual master, we should find a bona fide teacher. And it doesn't stop there. Hindi yung magpa-initiate na tayo tas wala na. Kasi we got the name. It's like a fashion. Oh, meron na akong name Das. Tas lahat na sabihin ng guru, hindi mo naman sinunod. Whimsically, you're living your life. No? That is not the purpose of having a guru. If one finds a spiritual or bona fide teacher, one should be also try his best to be a bona fide student. Only by the mercy of the spiritual master one could perform that. But one should be in full attention, in all respect, in the mood of humility. The bona fide spiritual master reasonably explains everything to the disciple on the authorities of the Vedic wisdom. The disciple can receive such teachings not exactly intellectually, but by submissive inquiries and a service attitude. Even sobrang talino ka, ang daming scholars na gusto mag-aral ng Srimad Bhagavatam, na Chaitanya Charitamrita ng Bhagavad Gita, they couldn't get it. Me personally, I've spoke to a lot of philosophers, scholars with PhD even, on the subject matter of the Bhagavad Gita, but they don't get it. They don't understand it. In comparison to those very simple na devotees na hirap mag-English, mas naiintindihan na yung Bhagavad Gita. If you remember the South Indian Brahmana, diba? Hindi siya marunong magbasa, magsulat, pero he could understand because he is submissive, respectful, and by the mercy of Krishna, he could give the knowledge in understanding kung paano maintindihan si Krishna. Not just by intellect, but by submissive inquiries and a service attitude. The idea is that both the spiritual master and the disciple must be bona fide. So, this, ang ginawa ni Sukadeva Goswami, he recited the Srimad Bhagavatam from the very first verse ng Srimad Bhagavatam, 1.1.1, Janmadhyasa Vanyad Yatoy Taratas Charteswa Bignaswarat. So this line, this verse, he recited until 12th canto. So ganun din yung ginawa ni Vyasadeva papunta kay Sukadeva Goswami. Si Sukadeva Goswami, ganun yung ginawa niya kay Pariksit Maharaj. Si Suta Goswami, who were present in that conversation, ganun din yung nirecite niya sa Naimisaranya. So, we should study Srimad Bhagavatam from 1st canto up until the 12th canto. It is just like having a darshan of Lord Krishna from lotus feet going to the face. We should not jump. Of course, if we need to read something like my lecture, you can open. But our personal study, we should start with. So I'm happy to study the first canto with you, and together we are approaching second. We now approach the second canto. Last text for today. O King, constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord after the ways of great authorities is the doubtless and fearless way of success for all, including those who are free from all material desires, those who are desirous of all material enjoyment, and also those who are self-satisfied by dint of transcendental knowledge. Even those who are actually perfected their lives in impersonalistic practices, the goal of their life and coming from the great authorities is chanting and hearing of Krishna's name. That is the ultimate goal of all the Vedas, to chant Krishna's name. And lucky we are that Lord Chaitanya came here to propagate the chanting of Hare Krishna 500 years ago. And even just 50 years ago, Srila Prabhupada spread the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And even those who are producing songs like George Harrison put this Hare Krishna Mahamantra so we could hear and get purified. One way or the other, the seed was planted by these devotees, great devotees. That's why we are relishing this fruit. And yes, even those who are transcendentalists, self-satisfied na sila, ang great success for all is chanting of Hare Krishna. This is the way that one could be fearless and doubtless and will have that peace of mind, peace at heart, because he is fully satisfied with Krishna, not just satisfied with nothingness. His love and devotion is being dovetailed. This is the ultimate goal of Bhakti Yoga, the topmost goal of life, the highest perfection of life, 108%. Not just 100%, 108%. So, having this conversation between Maharaj Pariksit and Sukadev Goswami, having the right guru, bona fide guru, and we should cultivate the how to become a bona fide students is the goal of life in understanding the duty of a living man and when one is preparing for death. The conversation of Sukadev Goswami and his disciple Maharaj Pariksit and others who are listening in that 7 days fasting will continue with the succeeding cantos. Mind you, they are hearing from Sukadev Goswami for 7 nights and 7 days. And no one is actually feeling the thirst and hunger. Wala nga tumatayo para mag-wee-wee break. Everyone's rapt attention. And we pray to the Srimad Bhagavatam that we could be in this mood of rapt attention with respect and humility and submissiveness, so we could get the full benefit of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the glories of Krishna, and we could chant our rounds in that kind of mood as well. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sukadev Goswami ki jai, Maharaj Pariksit ki jai, and all glories to you assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees and all glories to assembled devotees. Thank you very much. I'm really happy to spend every morning with you. Congratulations again for our second canto study. We've reached this far, 100th episode of the Monk in the Middle podcast. Before I say goodbye, tonight will be the recitation of Bhagavad Gita by His Holiness Girdhari Swami Maharaj. Please bring your Bhagavad Gita. Announcement will be posted in our group chat. 7 o'clock yon. And no, walang class ngayong 8 a.m. It's Tuesday. So I think 11 mamaya. Pero don't forget the 7 p.m. And we have created the Braj Bhakti Academy group chat. If you want to join that, just let me know, because yung mga announcement and notification will be posted there. The meditation and yoga philosophy courses in the previous batches will be not so active anymore. Just important post na lang. Para hindi nagka-flood din sa inyo. Iba kasi join different batches. So, lahat center dito. And, of course, you would meet yung mga different devotees from different batch. And the registration for the evening classes is already posted sa group chat. I will revive that, find that, and repost it so you could register. And you will know the details also ng mga evening classes natin. Also, some database na kailangan. Then, of course, yung Facebook page natin na Braj Bhakti Academy and Facebook group will be active very soon. But it's already there. But yeah, first, the Braj Bhakti Academy group chat. Let me know if you want to join. So, the classes, announcement will be there. Maging active na lang is Monk in the Middle podcast, Prashadam Community group chat, Braj Bhakti Academy group chat. So, onti na lang. And if you have a mentor, magkakaroon na kanya-kanyang group chat yon. So, they will have classes and all. So, thank you very much, Hare Krishna, Noreen, Mataji, Chandrika Radha, Mataji, Carla, Mataji, Rasarani, Hare Krishna, and yung mga batch 0 ng courses natin. Really happy to have your presence again. McCoy Prabhu, Oliver Prabhu, Paolo Prabhu, Rolly Prabhu, Sir Jay, and Naimi, Mataji. Yan. And Mother Moksha Lakshmi, nawawala-wala daw yung, yung internet niya. And hello sa ating devotees watching in Facebook Live and yung mga nag-late and humahabol sa ating recorded sessions. Hare Krishna. Please take care, everyone. I'll see you tonight, 7 p.m. Haribol. Happy 100. Yan, Oliver. Hare Krishna. Sir Jay, Naimi, and Paolo dito. See you. Haribol.